Hello and welcome to Spinster's Library. I'm Claudia and today I'm reviewing Gathered Together in My Name by Maya Angelou. This is the second part of Maya Angelou's autobiographical series and this was published in 1985. It is quite a short book and only covers a couple of years in Maya Angelou's life, mostly between the ages of about 17 and about 19, during the years following World War II. I, generally speaking, struggle with memoirs. I don't find that they hold my attention very easily, but this was, without a doubt, the best memoir I have ever read. I even prefer this one to the first Maya Angelou memoir, which is called I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and is generally accepted to be one of the most spectacular examples of the genre. I really enjoyed I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, but this one really blew me away. It is a book that's full of contrasts. There is so much humour in it, there is so much lightness in it, but there is a lot of darkness in it as well. There's so much heartbreak, and often the humour and the heartbreak are just sentences apart. This book really takes you on a roller coaster. In it, we follow a teenage Maya as she tries to really find her feet as an adult in California. She has a young son, but she doesn't really see him as his own person. And one of the things that she has to learn in this part of her life is to accept him as a real human being. But really, she is still a teenager trying to figure out what she wants to do in her life. While working a series of jobs, from a fry cook to a show dancer to almost accidentally becoming a pimp. But just as fragmented as her work life is also her personal life, and especially her romantic life. It's absolutely heartbreaking to see how this young woman is so trusting in men that clearly all want to take advantage of her in one way or another. And there's something shocking about reading that the woman who would one day become the extraordinary role model that was Maya Angelou started her adulthood as such a naive and innocent and trustworthy individual. Every time a new guy enters the scene in this book, there is the sense of hope that this is the one man who's going to treat her with respect and dignity and honesty. And then inevitably, the disappointment follows. And yet, you don't get a sense of weakness from this young Maya Angelou. You get a sense of resilience, of a woman who walked through her life always giving her best and taking life's letdowns in her stride. What I really loved about how Maya's personal disappointments were handled in this book is that she is not trying to teach you a lesson through her mistakes. Often in memoirs, I find that the author tries too hard to twist those mistakes or early disappointments as kind of a learning moment. Like there's all these valuable life lessons they learned in their youth and they're now trying to communicate those to you, the reader. Almost like it's fate that a memoir author had to go through some difficulty so that they can now be a mentor to the reader of their memoir. Maya Angelou doesn't do that. She goes through the highs and lows of her early life and treats her former self with kindness and without any pretensions that the lows that she went through are part of some bigger plan. In this book, she's drifting from place to place, job to job, man to man, and there is this dark undercurrent of the sort of post-war depression underneath all of it. Drugs play a really big part in the book, and drug addiction affects, in one way or another, some more directly, some less, almost all of the people that we meet in this memoir. This is, of course, set pre-civil rights era, and there is a real sense of darkness that overlays all of the personal problems that Maya is going through. Before I finish this review, let me briefly talk about the style. This book is an absolute masterclass of evocative writing done to perfection. I've never been to San Francisco, never mind to San Francisco in the 1940s, and the author clearly knows that. She is clearly writing these memoirs for people who haven't lived in that time and place. But instead of getting lost in endless descriptions like many other memoir authors, Maya Angelou manages to create scenery in just a few short sentences. And she applies this very compacted approach to language, not just to descriptions of places, but also of people, of situations, of feelings. And that is how she managed to write a book that is so rich in just over 200 pages. Tiny little book. You can really see the craft of the poet shining through in this prose. This book is so dense, so compact, so perfectly polished that every sentence packs a punch. And that is why I gave Gather Together in My Name by Maya Angelou 5 stars. And I should mention that this is only the third ever non-fiction book that I have loved so much. I would really very highly recommend this to any reader, although I would also recommend that you read the first part in the series, which is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, before you get to this one, just so you have more of an understanding of where Maya Angelou came from, what her childhood was like, and where she was when we pick up in the story of her life on the first page. As for me, I will definitely read the rest of this series. There are 7 books in total that take us through Maya Angelou's life, and I really can't wait to see where she takes me next. So let me know in the comments if you've read this absolutely stunning example of a memoir, and if you felt the same way about it as I did. I did not expect to be so emotionally sucked into a memoir because, as I've said, all of my previous experiences with memoirs, even with memoirs that many people have loved, have always been a little bit distant. I never quite felt the author as much as I did with this book, not even in the first installment of this series. So I already know this is going to be one of my reading highlights of 2020. Let me know your opinion in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Bye!